Hello, welcome to this update for the Western Pacific. So let's see what's happening. We have this new tropical storm, Pula Sun. It's kind of a potential tropical cyclone still. It's not yet very defined, but it'll be tropical storm Pula Sun. And then there's 98W there in the South China Sea, a high chance of formation too. So let's see what's forecasted. So this is they have this becoming a severe tropical storm and passing just south of Naha there as a tropical storm. This area doesn't show many islands there, but there might be some light impacts in Naha or some islands to the south in terms of wind and rough surf and maybe some rain. So then it has a tropical storm going to China around Zhenhou as a tropical storm. So yet again, another tropical cyclone going towards China. And the remnants of the last typhoon are still lingering there. So we better watch this closely for them, but this won't be crazy in terms of strength. It'll likely be like tropical storm or something. So let's see. We also have this cyclone in India there with a lot of heavy storms and still some heavy rains in Southeast Asia there. So here's tropical cyclone Pula 1. It shows there the track passing just south of Naha going to China. And then most models take this generally in that direction there. A model or two goes further north and further south, but generally in that vicinity. But if you are like in Naha or any other island there, you should definitely watch this for impacts. So let's see. There's the GFS, shows the system of the South China Sea trying to become a tropical storm, making a landfall in Vietnam yet again, and bringing more heavy rains there. And then it shows this cyclone there kind of goes towards Japan, but very weak, then towards China there. So it'll be like very weak. The GFS barely shows a tropical storm. It shows more strength with that second system forming later there, heading towards kind of Taiwan, China again, and those areas. And it has this becoming a non-tropical front later, going towards Japan by the 26th. So we have to watch this, and also there's more stuff forming near China later and kicking out into the Pacific. So let's see. The European has this system there, very wide, not very tight, so it's not very organized, but it's almost a tropical storm there, and then it takes it as a weak or mild tropical storm towards Naha there in southern islands of Japan. They have a severe tropical storm, but it might be a little bit weaker than that. And then it strengthens a little bit towards China, but not actually, because it was like 996 and makes landfall in China around 1,000 millibars, so it will weaken a little bit. And then, but there'll still be some tropical storm conditions in eastern China. Then it also has the invest in the South China Sea developing to a tropical storm and making landfall in central Vietnam and Laos there. So this will bring a lot of heavy rain towards Vietnam and Laos. So please alert others there if you have any friends, family, and tell them about the rain and everything, because this doesn't need to be a super typhoon to cause problems. There'll be a lot of rain and flash flooding with only a tropical storm. So let's see now. The Canadian, it has this system, first system passing by Naha and going towards China, very weak. Also has the other system forming there. It's a tropical storm into Vietnam, Laos, might bring some storms to Thailand too. Then it has that second bigger system pulling north into the islands of Japan, a lot of heavy rain, but having trouble to organize and turning extra tropical there and affecting Japan. So this is basically the situation now. Let's see. The European 0Z, to see further, it has that first system there now, the system Vietnam, and then it pulls more of the moisture up later, maybe towards Taiwan and some other areas. So wait, it shows like the northern Philippines will get hit a lot of rain these next few days, and then takes the system towards China, and the remnant moisture kind of lingers around Taiwan and China there, but it doesn't like go towards Japan. It has another front forming there and going towards Japan, so we better watch that too. And we have, let's see, some hurricane models. This is Invest 98W in South China Sea, and the HRF has it passing just south of Hainan as a tropical storm into Vietnam. The HRF even has a typhoon that's like typhoon strength into Vietnam, so we better watch that. But sometimes these hurricane models are like very strong. So let's see, the HAFS A shows it there, and then it goes kind of disorganized, but it gets like tropical storm strength there and makes landfall in Vietnam and brings some very heavy storms to Laos too, and kind of lingers there. So let's see. And there's cyclone 15 there near Japan. This model has it going there, passes just south of Naha or right through Naha there in the southern islands of Japan, affecting like tropical storm conditions there. It goes into China as a tropical storm, so be careful there. Let's see. There's the HWRF too. It shows there. It goes, strength is only a little bit, but still kind of weak, and goes a little bit further north into China. So if you're in Japan or China there, better watch out for these some tropical storm conditions and stuff, so please be careful there. In terms of wind gusts, the European shows already some very strong winds now in that southernmost island of Japan there, that small island, and then this keeps going. There's a big wind field, a very big wind field associated with this. Then it starts bringing some very strong winds to Amami too. These are just the wind gusts, so the occasional gusts. And then it shows like more than 80 km/h gusts near Okinawa and Naha as well, close to like 67 km/h gusts. Then this keeps going. It shows, because it shows like weak and disorganized, so it shows like the south side empty and the worst winds on the north side. Even if the center passes over Naha, the worst winds will be in Amami, so please be aware there. Then like some 86, 88 km/h gusts in these other islands there, Toshima and other areas. Then this keeps going, kind of weakens, the wind field weakens a little bit when it gets to China, but still some gusty winds near Shanghai again and other areas. And then it has a cyclone, probably not tropical, forming the Sea of Japan there, with some very high winds affecting Japan by the 21st and 20th with that front, and it has still all that moisture there in the South China Sea. So that there's this potential system now, and then let's see, goes towards Vietnam, and might have some very gusty winds at landfall, but nothing crazy like the last typhoon. So show like some 76, 70 km/h gusts, and the winds drift further north too, so be aware. Then later those gusty winds continue near the Philippines in the South China Sea because of that flow of moisture there, and then kind of gets circulation near Taiwan. Might be a very heavy rain there. It might have more gusty winds towards Japan later there and the Koreas, so better watch this. And now wait, the GFS shows that system there in the islands of Japan, shows the worst winds around Amami too. There, as the center passes over just south of Naha, the worst winds in Amami, and then it goes some gusty winds near Shanghai again too, but kind of weakens there. And there's the icon here. It shows already today some very gusty winds, and I think the winds are a little bit lower than this. The icon is exaggerating a lot this year, but showing like some 92 km/h gusts in that island there, and then it goes towards Naha and some very gusty winds in Amami, so showing some very gusty winds there. And if these winds come to fruition, might be some storm surge as well in those areas, so be careful. Then it goes towards China. The winds weaken a little bit but there might still be heavy rains. So let's see, the icon in the next 5 days shows that those southernmost islands of Japan, like some 60 millimeters, or around Tokunoshima, some 40 millimeters, in Amami 21 millimeters, but there might be some storms too. Naha some 41 millimeters, but the storms might be stronger there because the cyclone will be over you. And let's see, South Korea shows a lot, close to 200 millimeters next 5 days because of those fronts. In Japan, it has more than 236 millimeters near just north of Osaka, some 36 millimeters in Tokyo, some areas to 200 millimeters as well. So be careful. In Japan, might be some very heavy rains there, and don't trust this, but the icon is like going all the way to like 700 millimeters in China. I don't quite trust this because it's too high, but show like 700 millimeters in some cities of China. If this happens, there'll be some very damaging flooding there. But for example, the GFS doesn't show even close to that, so it's only the icon. And then shows like some 137 millimeters in China. That front moves towards South Korea, more than 200 millimeters, then towards Japan there. So be careful. And it has the worst of the rainfall passing around Miyakojima, more than 180 millimeters from the system, 111 millimeters, and some storms around Naha and Amami too. And then it has the worst of the rainfall like right in the immediate coast there of China, in the provinces south of Shanghai, so like more than 100 millimeters. So be careful. Maybe some flooding too. It shows there some other areas a lot as well. And then the European has like this very weak, but does shows a lot of storms there passing through the islands of Japan. And then it shows around Shanghai 176 millimeters in the coast, shows 200 millimeters in some interior areas of China because of that front getting going there. And then shows in South Korea 90 to 100 millimeters in big areas there, more than 200 millimeters in the western shores of Japan. So if you're in the western shores of Japan in the next 5 days, you should really be careful with the rain there. And then further south in Taiwan shows more than 100 millimeters as well, 200, because of all the lingering moisture there. So be careful, might be some floods sometimes. Shows like in the coast of China 121 millimeters too. And the northern Philippines, especially the western shores of the northern Philippines, more than 100 millimeters, so stay safe there. Those islands just north of the Philippines, more than 200 millimeters, because the flow of moisture passing right through there. So please be careful. And of course, in Vietnam, we have the system there. The European area is showing more than 400 millimeters, central Vietnam. And let's see, 300 millimeters as well. 200 millimeters, 200 in a big area, central Vietnam. Laos, more than 200 millimeters through eastern Laos, and basically all of central Laos have some very heavy rain and problems from this. Some more storms in southern Laos, and some general showers and thunderstorms in northern Laos. But central Laos and Vietnam might be some very damaging flooding from the system there. The GFS has a similar thing, like 200, 300 millimeters in Vietnam, central Vietnam there, around Laos too, more than 200 millimeters, so please be careful. There's the icon, yet again exaggerating, but you never know. Shows like 400 millimeters close to the European, 300 millimeters in Vietnam, let's see the central Laos, so be careful. There'll be a lot of flooding from this. And let's see, north area still might have heavy rain the southern coast of Cambodia and southern Thailand, some more heavy downpours and storms. Thailand, some more storms to northern Thailand, as the remnants of the system Vietnam cross there. Might be more storms, so be aware. And general rain and storms through all of Thailand, especially southern Thailand, the Bay of Bengal, might be a lot heavier, along with northwestern Sumatra there, so be aware. And southern Myanmar as well. And then throughout Bangladesh, northern Myanmar shows like 100 millimeters, 123 millimeters. So be careful there. For Bangladesh, 90 millimeters to 100. Maybe some more heavy showers and storms. There's still the system in India now, dumping more than 100 millimeters through northern India, some areas there. So please stay safe. Some general showers and storms to central India and southwestern Sri Lanka, showing more storms in the Maldives, some passing showers there, and in the Seychelles, choose some more showers and some storms. So be aware. And in Seabreeze Village, some showers and storms too. But the biggest threat is there in Vietnam, I think, and the Philippines, Taiwan, and China there. So stay safe there. Let's see. There's this model. You can see the system in India. It keeps going more. Heavy rain there. And then you can see the system in Vietnam. There's a lot of heavy rain and more storms from Myanmar and Thailand and Cambodia. Then the system goes there, some very heavy rain to Vietnam and Laos. This keeps going there. It remains there for a day or two, so might be a lot of flooding. Then it goes into Laos, northern Thailand. By Friday, should get a lot from this into Myanmar eventually. And then it might spin up in Bangladesh and bring more storms to India once again. So these areas, Bangladesh and India, have to watch for the remnants of this. So be aware there. Let's see, more storms throughout the Philippines, showers and storms, northern Indonesia, even southern Indonesia, some shower activity in Papua New Guinea and Guinea there, and the system in South Korea and Japan there, a lot of heavy rain and storms throughout China, central China too, so be aware. Some snow in Mongolia and Russia, there in Tibet, some snow as well, so be aware there. And this mainly it. Stay safe.